Gamescom is this weekend. We've got some big news heating up. Could this be the biggest power play in Xbox history? With Indiana Jones making its debut as a timed exclusive on Game Pass, I think Microsoft is sending a clear message that this is just the beginning of the new era in gaming. We're seeing it. We're hearing more rumors about it. It makes sense. Game Pass absolutely changes the game. You may disagree with me. You may think to yourself, well, wait a minute. Why wouldn't you keep Indiana Jones as a full exclusive? Let's jump into it in this video. Let's go over what the rumor is, whether or not we're actually going to see it at Gamescom, and whether or not this is not Gamescom. Did I say con? Gamescom, and whether or not this is a good move. I'll give you my opinion. You can give me yours. Before we jump into it, though, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time. Also, we have a Discord server. If you want to talk about this more, jump into our Discord server. Join the community. It'll be pinned to the comments below. And let's jump into it. This is a news story over at Videos Games Chronicle. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is coming to PS5 next year. It's claimed. That's according to industry insider Nate the Hate, who has a track record of breaking stories prior to their official announcement. Ahead of a planned Indiana Jones showing at Gamescom opening night live on Tuesday, they claimed that Bethesda's title will hit PC and Xbox Series X and S in December as a timed console exclusive. And here is, let's actually go to his tweet. Here's his tweet right here. This is Nate the Hate. Go follow him over on Twitter. Also, I love the GIF here. I love the GIF of Todd Howard coming up and grabbing the, like, it's an Indiana Jones move. It's really good. Machine Games, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will release on Xbox and PC this holiday. This is Nate the Hate's tweet as a timed Xbox or a timed console exclusive. After this timed exclusive window expires, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is planned to come to PlayStation 5 in the first half of 2025. Very interesting. Is that the right move, do you think? I think what has happened here is the game has completely changed. I do want to see what the conclusion here is. Let's see what VGC says. While it already had a strong foothold on rival platforms thanks to Call of Duty Minecraft in February. Let's see. Conclusion. Here we go. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer has said he wouldn't ever want to rule out any game coming to another platform, and it was recently claimed that Xbox has considered bringing a newly remastered version of Halo Combat Evolved to PlayStation. Very interesting. By the way, 120 frames per second on that bad boy on the Series X. Xbox has also reportedly weighed up the idea of releasing Gears of War, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and Starfield for rival consoles. Here's the thing. I think they're considering everything. Game Pass is flipping the script. What the traditional marketing methods on a subscription service is vastly different than on a hardware service. So selling a console is much different than selling a subscription service. And we're seeing this industry shift here with the way that Xbox is doing things. At the Xbox Game Showcase in June, Microsoft announced Doom: The Dark Ages for Xbox Series S, X, PC, and PS5. So they didn't really have a conclusion here on what Nate the Hate had to say. I think, ready for this? I mean, we've talked a little bit about how this idea of timed exclusives, that it's worked for the PlayStation in the past with games like Destiny and Call of Duty. And Xbox now has this ability to do this in a little bit different way with Game Pass. So for instance, with a Forza Horizon 5, let's use that because that's what we talked about recently in one of the past videos, which if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel so you can see all these videos. They now have the ability of saying, hey, you can have access to, why use Forza Horizon 5? Let's use Indiana Jones. You can have access to Indiana Jones, but you can get it day one over on Game Pass. And oh, by the way, you also get all these other games. And once you get into the service and you see the value in the service of Game Pass, it's very hard to get away. It's going to be very hard to not subscribe for it. It's like getting a gym membership. Gym memberships bank on you buying it and forgetting about it because it's a convenience fee, essentially. That's what Game Pass is. Game Pass is this undeniable value. And to me, this strategy of a timed exclusive with some of these titles is a big deal. Now, some of you might be saying to yourself, well, wait a minute, Indiana Jones, just keep it exclusive. This could be also an incentive for Xbox. Well, here's the thing. Indiana Jones was already under development and was already under development on multi-platforms for Xbox for Bethesda before Xbox purchased Bethesda. So you're not really changing up anything huge, especially if the development was already done with it. You're just I think applying the PlayStation 5 strategy. And if it was good for PlayStation 5 with a game like Call of Duty, with a game like Destiny, why would it not be good for Game Pass? The answer is, I think it is good. I have 3 reasons I wrote down on why I think it's good for Indiana Jones to be a timed exclusive in this way. Now, some of you might just be disagreeing with me on this, and that's fine. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree. But here are my reasons. Doing it this way, I think you're strengthening Game Pass as a must-have service by offering but this is a high-profile title, and I think by offering it as a timed exclusive, Microsoft continues to build Game Pass as an essential subscription service for gamers. It not only adds value to the service, but also encourages more gamers to subscribe, driving recurring revenue and increasing the overall user base with titles like Indiana Jones for Game Pass. Again, once you get Game Pass, I know a lot of people who don't have an Xbox but are subscribed to Game Pass. Once you get Game Pass, the value is undeniable. This further adds to that value. That's my first reason. It strengthens Game Pass as a must-have service. Reason number 2 is you're essentially leveraging a first-party IP to compete with PlayStation exclusives. So Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda, which includes this title, Indiana Jones, allows Xbox to compete more effectively against PlayStation's strong lineup and exclusives. Remember, PlayStation has used time exclusives in the past. PlayStation has doubled the Xbox console sale rate. It has something like 60 million consoles sold for the PlayStation 5, while the Xbox Series X and S has only around 30 million of those. So almost, I think it is about double now. Double of them sold. How did they do that? How did they do that during the PS4 console era? They did it via timed exclusives. If it worked for PlayStation, why would it not work for Xbox? Why would it not work for Game Pass? I think it would not only would work, it would work even better because, for instance, as someone who plays, let's say, Call of Duty of Destiny, if there's just one map or one skin that's timed exclusive, or a series of skins or cosmetics, no big deal. But if the entire game drops first, that's a really big deal. Let me give you an example. I really want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake, the remakes. I've seen them. I've watched them stream. I really want them. We know these are timed exclusive for PlayStation. I think they're coming to Xbox soon. I think that timed exclusivity is coming up. I think with the numbers that we're seeing over on Square Enix and their need to expand to other platforms, I think as soon as whatever deal with the timed exclusive there is up, they're going to jump everywhere. And I think we're going to see it on Xbox, and we may even see it on Game Pass, which would be absolutely huge. And so I'm just waiting. But the fact that has got me almost to purchase it over on the PlayStation is huge. Now, I think Indiana Jones could be in that same vein for Game Pass and for Xbox. I think it helps attract new players, and then once you get that player in, I think it's an automatic retention. I think their retention rate is really high because the value, again, is undeniable. So, number 1, my first reason, I think it strengthens Game Pass as a must-have service. Number 2, I think you're leveraging a high-end first-party IP with Indiana Jones here. And my third reason that I think this is the right strategy for Xbox is ultimately you're going to boost not just console sales, but also ecosystem engagement here. So releasing Indiana Jones first on the Xbox and Game Pass can drive both hardware sales, particularly among fans of the franchise. So for instance, especially coming this Christmas, because think about this release date rumored by Nate the Hate, you can see right here, is December. That's right around Christmas time. They could use that as a selling gimmick or an added value for purchasing a Series S, a Series X at Christmas time. And I think it helps boost, it could help boost console sales, but also it's going to definitely help boost Game Pass subscriptions. And then I think you help to foster long-term brand loyalty once they understand the value there, once they see how awesome the Xbox community is, once they see what's coming down the pipeline for Game Pass subscribers. It's absolutely huge. I think those are my 3 reasons. The third one kind of just reiterates number 1 and 2, but I do think it's a power move. I think timed exclusivity, once again, it works for PlayStation 5 on hardware. I think it's actually easier to make the argument that this is the right move for a subscription service for software, because the barrier to entry is much, much lower than going out and buying hardware. I would love to know what you guys think, though. I did write down some questions here. Is Microsoft's focus on Game Pass exclusives setting a new standard in the industry? Yes, I think so. I think Game Pass is changing the game. I think it's changing how you market games. I think, for instance, we've always lived in a console era where what drove you to each individual console was largely exclusive games. That's not necessarily the case. And that's why these timed exclusives or Xbox opening up their library and bringing it to other platforms is kind of breaking people's minds, because that's just how it's been always. But we've never had subscription-based service in gaming. We've had it recently in movies. We've had it recently pop up in music, and now we're getting it in gaming. And that's why it's completely flipping everything on its head, and it's breaking some people's minds. Now, it might not work in the end. This could be the beginning of the end of Xbox. I don't think it is. But to steelman someone's argument, or not steelman it, because I'm not steelmanning it, but to those who disagree with this as the strategy, they would say that this is the beginning of the end of Xbox, that Xbox is no longer going to be in hardware. And I disagree with that. We already know they're going to be in hardware, but I think you can see where technology is going, and where technology is going is this ability to stream directly to whatever device you have, whatever game you want. And so getting in early and getting this subscription service up and running, being first mover advantage is absolutely huge. It takes time. I mean, how long have we had Game Pass for? 3 or 4 years now? And we're just barely getting the ball rolling on it. It takes time to get these things set up. It takes time to get this constant pump out of games into your subscription service, and we're just at the beginning of that ball rolling. So I do think it is setting a new standard for the industry. I think it's shifting and flipping everything on its head. Could this timed exclusive be a turning point for Xbox in gaining more market share? I don't think this one is. I don't think it's going to be any one thing, to be perfectly honest. I think, for instance, with Call of Duty, I've said this before, I think Call of Duty being available on Game Pass day one doesn't get you Game Pass subscribers day one of the first Call of Duty. I think over time it does. All of these things, it takes time. It's like, what is the old marketing adage? It takes 10 touch points before someone decides to buy your product. I think that's what this is. Call of Duty is on Game Pass. Okay, well, I've got a PlayStation I'm going to play, or I've got a PC. I'll just buy it on Steam. I've never subscribed. I don't know what this Game Pass is. Oh, wait, Indiana Jones is also on Game Pass. Oh, wait, Avowed is also on Game Pass. Oh, wait, the new Gears is dropping on Game Pass. Okay, I'm going to subscribe because I really want this game. I'm going to check it out. Let's check out what this Game Pass is, and then you get it. All of these things add up. I don't think it's ever going to be one timed exclusive that brings a rush of players into the Game Pass subscription service. I think it's going to be everything added up over time. We'll just do it. And the more news you can create, the more information you can get out there to people, that's what's going to do it. Last question that I wrote down. What other major titles could benefit from this type of Game Pass strategy? I don't know. See, I think I had this discussion with my cousin the other day on the X1 Bros podcast last week. Go check out the X1 Bros podcast. We do it once a week. It's all about things. It's about all things Xbox and positive gaming. It's here on YouTube. And also wherever you can get podcasts. Hey, how's that for a plug? Phil Spencer has already said that it's a case-by-case consideration. And I think some games make sense and some games don't. So Forza Horizon 5, I could totally see being a game that benefits from the Game Pass strategy. Forza Motorsport, I don't think does. I think Forza Motorsport benefits Xbox more by staying on Xbox. It's the premier racing simulation game, quote unquote, on the platform. It's a serious hardcore racer. It's a tech demo. Also, PlayStation, for instance, already has their own version of it in Grand Theft Auto 5. What PlayStation 5 doesn't have, though, is a Forza Horizon 5 type of game. And so I think it makes complete sense for instance, a Forza Horizon 5 to take on this strategy. I think it makes complete sense for an Indiana Jones to take on this strategy. It's not something that is classically known to be exclusive to the Xbox. Dropping first on Game Pass and then dropping as a timed exclusive and then dropping later over on other platforms like the PlayStation 5, I think just makes sense. It was already being developed multi-platform before Xbox purchased it. It just makes sense to me as far as a Game Pass strategy. So I do think we have to remember Phil Spencer and Xbox, yes, they are considering every title, and it's a case-by-case basis. What makes the most sense? And remember, we're in this new era. The way you sell a subscription service is much different than the way you sell hardware. The way you sell hardware is you can only play, we've locked these games down to this hardware. That's where you have to go to play it. The way you sell a subscription service is with stuff like benefits, could be with things like timed exclusives. And I will reiterate once again for everybody in the comments right now saying, no, you're wrong, this is going to kill Xbox. Timed exclusives worked for PlayStation over the last 2 generations. Why would they not work for Xbox? Answer me that. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It's really interesting. There's going to be a lot of news this week. It's kind of been the calm before the storm. Gamescom is here. I'm sure we're going to get new releases, new games dropping. Make sure you subscribe. Everything's here. We're going to be starting some live streams here over the coming weeks, covering everything. Have a great rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.